Hello everyone, welcome back to Shikara IAS Academy. So in today's video, we are going to discuss the syllabus strategy, few model PYQs of science and technology for Group 1, Group 2 TGPSC examinations. So I have given the detailed Group 1 syllabus, and for Group 2 students, I will tell you what to study and what not to study while discussing the Group 1 syllabus itself. Right? So what resources can you use for studying SNT? Basically, we have in prelims, we also have general science. We have general science also in prelims, and in mains, we have specific syllabus. In mains, we have specific syllabus, whereas in prelims, we have general science and advancements in science and technology. So, for general science portion, you would have to read physics, chemistry, and biology textbooks of class 9 to 12, or the class 6 to 10 also you can refer. 11th and 12th few topics which are important you can refer from there. So basics of biology, what are the different, what is cell division, mitosis, meiosis, etc. you have to study. Then you study different parts, different organs like digestive system, nervous system. Then we have the structure of eye, ear, etc. Then the structure of brain and what are the different parts associated with what. Then in biology you also study diseases, nutrition, what are the minerals, important minerals, mineral deficiency will lead to what diseases. So all those things in biology. In physics and chemistry you study basics like light, motion, etc. In chemistry also basics of chemistry you have to study. Basic questions will be asked from these topics. Then in case of science and technology specifically, we will study the space technology, defense, nano, biotechnology, IT, all those things we will study in the science and technology, and the developments which are happening in different fields, you have to study them. So for prelims in general science, you can refer to the physics, chemistry, biology textbooks from where you have to study these things. Then you can also refer on some ISRO, Department of Science and Technology websites, PIB, Yojana, Kurukshetra magazines. Majorly, the science and technology, you have to rely more on the current events or current happenings which are occurring in the general science section. So, in case of main syllabus, we have 10 topics. The weightage is of 100 marks in the mains. But the first two chapters are classical emerging areas of science and technology and policy of science and technology. Policy, national policy, which is present on science and technology, is given here. So before studying these two chapters, I want you to complete the syllabus of the remaining chapters. After completing all these chapters, you can be easily answering the questions from the first chapters, because the first chapter is like a summary of the remaining chapters. So you have to start with the space programs in India. So this is important for both Group 1 and Group 2. Space, like we have different satellites. We study different orbits. We study different satellites. We have communication satellites, remote sensing satellites. Uh, we have education satellites. So different satellites we have to study. We have satellites like INSAT series, then remote sensing satellites, EduSat for education, and major programs, space programs of ISRO we have to study, and space missions like Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, Gaganyaan, Aditya L1. So different space missions, space programs which ISRO is taking up. So what are the features of those programs, everything you have to have an idea about. Then how this space program is applicable in different fields. So how it is applicable for rural development by tele-education, telemedicine, giving information for farmers, weather forecasting, which is very important for agriculture. So future space programs, India is also planning to have a space station. So our Gaganyaan mission is a first step in that journey. So what are the future missions of ISRO? You must also know them. Then application of space technology. This is basically important for group 1 students because it is application wise. The questions will be asked how space technology is helping agriculture, how through space mapping, through remote sensing, how can we detect diseases, how can we know the crop patterns, etc. How can we quantitate the production, how can we know how much production will be occurring of what crops. So that type of applications will be studied in this chapter. So what is the application of space in industry, in disaster management, how we can use the communication space, satellite communications, etc., in rescuing people who are stuck because of some disasters, so to measure the disaster. So various applications are present in disaster management, like flood forecasting, cyclone tracking, tsunami warnings, earthquake monitoring. So all these are applications of space technology in disaster management. In cyclones also we get orange alerts, red alert. So such type of alerts, what are they? So all these we have to study. Then how climate change is impacting the glacier retreat, sea level rise, etc., and how space technology is important in understanding those problems. Then after, space technology itself is having a weightage of 20 marks. Separate 2 units are given for space technology. Then we have a comprehensive unit on energy resources, where we will study different conventional energy sources, non-conventional sources, or renewable sources like thermal power, sorry, hydel power, solar power, wind energy, biomass energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, and we will study the fuel cells, hydrogen cells. So all these we have to study. We also study the India's nuclear program, India's 3-stage nuclear program, and what is the sectoral distribution of energy in these sectors. So these above 3 units are important for both group 1 and group 2. And in case of the second part, in the science and technology, we have crop science. So crop science is mostly important for group 1 students. Group 2 students have to focus on these GM crops like BT cotton, GM mustard, etc. They also have to learn about biofuels, invasive species, like these important topics you have to learn. The other topics like crop diversity, different characteristics of plants, different species of which are present in the forests, and how they are playing a role in ecology, how they are playing a role in biodiversity, few of the important medicinal aromatic plants which are used in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, etc., and how they are applicable in modern medicine. So all these we have to study. These are majorly, the whole chapter is important for group 1, whereas few topics like GM crops, biofuels, invasive species, etc., are also important for group 2 students. Then we have biotechnology and genetic engineering. So genetic engineering is where we are changing the structure of DNA, as in we are changing the sequences, so to prevent some diseases, or to cure some diseases, or to add some specific characteristics, traits. For example, there is a plant which is tolerant to drought, so if we incorporate those genes in our rice plant, then the rice plants will also become tolerant to droughts. So such type of injection of changing of genetic material is called genetic engineering. It is done to different tools, like we have CRISPR, CRISPR-Cas9, etc. We also have cloning, where we are reproducing the exactly same species or exactly same animal. Like we reproduce sheep, it will be identical to the parent sheep. So this type of technologies which are based on the genes or DNA of the organism, where we are operating at the level of the genetic part, it is called genetic engineering. So in this we also have stem cells research, which is a very advanced method in medicine, which will help cure many diseases. Then we have biotechnology, which is applicable in agriculture, like producing biofertilizers and biopesticides which are environment friendly, which can combat the climate change. Biofuels, what are biofuels? how we have different generation of biofuels, first generation, second generation, third generation, to produce ethanol, biodiesel. We also have different schemes to have a combination of these biofuels with the fossil fuels, like we want to mix some of the ethanol in the petroleum. So these type of schemes, etc., have to be studied here. Then we have tissue culture, cloning of livestock, cloning of sheep, buffalo, etc., for the benefit of human beings. Then how biotechnology can impact the environment, how we can clean up environment. We have some bacteria like oil zappers, which will clean up the oil leakages or in the oceans. So how can we clean our soil? How can we clean our oceans through these bacteria? And how there are sensors, sensors which can be made using biotechnology, which will give us signals when there is a extreme pollution levels, etc. How can we manage waste using these biotechnology instruments? So these will become important for both group 1 and group 2 examinations. Then the third chapter is food biotechnology, which is majorly important for group 1 only, with exceptions of few topics like organic farming, precision mixed mechanized farming, etc., hydroponics. This you will also study in geography. So how, what is food safety, what are the authorities which are looking after food safety, like FSSAI. We have food quality standards, then different laws and regulations in India regarding the food safety, and also the safety of drinking water. What are the different technologies used for purifying water, and what are its positives and negatives. We also have a major fluorine issue in Telangana and few regions in India. So we have a specific technique called Nalgunda defluoridation technique, which we'll study in the defluoridation. So few important topics like recent trends in agriculture, like organic farming, precision farming, hydroponics, these become important for both group 1 and group 2. The other parts will be important for only group 1. Then in case of microbial infections, it is important for both group 1 and group 2. We will study different bacterial diseases, infections. We will study viral infections. We will study fungal infections. So we'll study different infections like cholera, tuberculosis, diarrhea, dysentery, chikungunya, dengue, influenza, encephalitis, HIV, COVID-19. Then protozoan fungal diseases like ringworm, candidiasis, protozoal diseases like malaria, kala azar, etc. So these are specifically given for group 1. So group 1 candidates have to study them in detail to write an answer, whereas group 2 students can just know how the disease is transferred, what is the vector, what is the bacteria or virus which is transferring this disease, and how it is transferred. If you know this much, that will be enough. Whereas the group 1 students have to have a detailed answer, enough material. Then different pandemics which are which has outbroken in the past few years, like we have COVID-19, Ebola, Nipah virus, avian flu, etc., we have to study. Then the preventive control measures of these diseases also we have to study. Different vaccines, hygiene conditions, sanitation, etc., are its preventive measures. Then vaccines is also important for both group 1 and group 2 students. We'll study different types of vaccines, traditional vaccines, modern vaccines. In modern vaccines, we have a recombinant DNA vaccines, mRNA vaccine, protein subunit vaccine, DNA vaccines, nanoparticle vaccines. So different types of traditional vaccines means we have killed or inactivated vaccines, live attenuated vaccines. So different vaccines and different diseases which they are treating. And in case of COVID-19, we also have seen questions of which company has made these vaccines. So all these will be important for both group 1 and group 2. After completing these chapters, now you study the first two chapters, where it has asked about the current developments in India in digital India, artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotechnology, and biotechnology. We have already seen GM crops, vaccines, bioinformatics. Why I am saying to study this later, because all these topics will be covered in your chapters. We have industrial revolution 4.0. What is we have different policies based on science and technology for education, healthcare, defense, etc. So how SNT is helping in the national development in education, health, defense, etc. What is ICT, 5G, cloud computing, edge computing, all these IT based information also you have to study, which is a which is important for both Group 1 and Group-2. Then we have different national policies like policies of 1958, 83, 2003, 13, etc. And we have a draft science and technology policy of 2020, which is very important. We have to study it in detail. So what are the basics, how the policy has changed over here, we have to see. Then technology missions like a literacy mission, renewable energy, what are we doing? For vaccines and health, what policies we have implementing? So this will be covered in your chapter where we study the vaccines only. This will be covered in your ICT topics. So here we study robotics application, computers, internet, 5G, 4G, difference between them, what is spectrum. So all these topics we have to study. Then nanotechnology, communication based satellites, 5G, optical fiber. So all these things we have to study, and this will be covered majorly in your next units, which you will summarize over here. So in this way we have to prepare for these papers. In prelims, questions have been asked from general science like the order of velocity of sound, which sound can travel in different mediums. So in which medium sound will travel faster and in which medium sound will travel slower. So it has asked to arrange them in a sequence. So this is a general science question. This is also a general science question from chemistry. So different isotopes of elements have been asked. So this is also a general science question from physics based on how liquids become viscous or less viscous based on the temperature have been asked. Then a question on India's schemes, etc. Like Indian pharmaceutical sector, we have to it has given an assertion and reasoning. They have given an assertion and reasoning. We have to look at those assertion reasoning, and we have to answer if the statements are correct and are they explaining each other. Then a question based on current affairs where it has been asked that the recent developments like a pocket friendly device to detect milk adulteration was created by which institute has been asked. So it is a current affairs based. So a question on space technology about NISAR satellite has been asked, and a question on diseases has been asked, which is also related to your current affairs. In mains, questions have been asked on Gaganyaan, Gaganyaan mission, and industry 3. Transition between industry 3.0 to 3.4.0. So manufacturing sector, how it is important in that. Then a question on Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission, which was launched in 2010 on missions. Because of this, studying of missions is very important. Schemes, policies, and different missions of the government is very important. Fasal Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is launched in 2016. How space technology is utilized in this? So application of space technologies questions have been asked. Then a question on nanotechnology has been asked. Question on national policy on biofuels has been asked. Question on Swamitwa scheme by the Ministry of Panchayat Raj. So you see different schemes and policies, many questions have been asked. Then national strategy for robotics. So national policy on different fields in science and technology is very important. And one question on medical and aromatic plants have been asked. And one question on genetic engineering has been asked, how it is becoming a breakthrough in health research, and how stem cell is playing its role in regenerative medicine. And a question on conversion of crop residue into biofuel, and another question on biofuel have been asked. So, and one question on organic farming and how it is important for food security of India. Then a question on preservatives which are added to food, antibiotics which are added to non-veg foods, etc., have been asked, and what are the different food laws regulations are there to control it. Then a question have been asked on infectious diseases. Another question was asked on timely intervention in diseases like malaria, cholera, how it will help in eradicating those diseases. A question on diseases like viral infections. Question on viral infections like bird flu, polio, chikungunya, etc. have been asked. One question on COVID-19 have been asked and related to vaccine production and immunization program. So, pandemics like COVID-19 are occurring. How vaccine? So, this question is on vaccination, immunization. So, each and every chapter has been given very importance, and national policies and schemes, etc., are very important for each and every sector in the science and technology. So, in this way, if you prepare, it will become very easy, and it is also a very scoring subject. Science and technology is a scoring subject, and you can depend mostly on current affairs so that you can have a holistic idea. Thank you all. We'll meet in the next lecture.